Bill Johnson here with Gus, the Groovy Bus. We're in the middle of this air disc brake job on the tag axle of Gus. In a previous video, I showed everybody how I took the air chamber and the caliper and the slack adjuster off of the tag axle. So you'll see everything's been removed. And now we need to rebuild the caliper and the slack adjuster and put a new air chamber back on the bus. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to disassemble and overhaul the air disc brake caliper. This is a Rockwell 1560 air disc brake used on Prevost buses, I believe until about 1999, on both the tag and in some cases the front axle. Now they had different versions of this through the years. This is a post 1992. This is on a 1995 bus. So the earlier ones are slightly different, but for the most part it's the same. So I started by taking the seal here out of the end. It was held in with a snap ring, or a ring here on the outer side. You just grab it, this little corner, with your screwdriver and pop it out. And then I used air pressure in the relief valve and just pushed that seal out of there. And you can see there's some crud and stuff on it. The next step was to remove this big spring, which was held in there like that with this plate. And that plate pushed in there, and there was a snap ring, that snap ring right there, that held that plate. I used my two fingers and pushed back on the plate and had somebody remove the snap ring and let the whole assembly come out. I may be able to show more of that on the next one, but you can see that, you know, you look in here and there's years and years of accumulated grease and gunk. Okay, so that's the first step. Make sure you reference your Rockwell books as you do this job. The books are readily available, I think, either to download or you can find them online, but it walks you through the procedure. So you can see we removed that ring, popped that seal out using a little bit of air through the grease valve relief. They show a little tool here to compress and then pop that snap ring out, but it's very easy to do just by using your fingers and pushing on both sides. So that's where we are in the process. Okay, the next step is to pull this brake disc backing plate out. Just turn the shaft there, and it comes right out. There we go. So that's removed. And then you have the this rubber boot that I'm just going to pry out of there using a screwdriver. I don't know if you can see, but you got to get in behind that, behind this lip right here, and pry it out. Okay, I'll pop the old seal out of there. Okay, now there's an O-ring just inside the lip here. I need to use some kind of a tool like this and get underneath that O-ring. And you can see the O-ring just comes right out. All right, we have to take this cap off now to remove the power shaft. That's best done using a torque and impact wrench. There we go. Okay, now there's a snap ring here that we need to remove, and remove that dust cover. So let's see if we can do that. Oops. Ah. There we go. Well, I need something to wipe my hands with here. Okay. Now we got it. Okay, now that the snap ring's off, should be able to remove this dust cover. There we go. And then the power shaft will come right out. You can see now when the slack adjuster connects here, when that rod pushes down, turns the slack adjuster, you can see how that turns out, and this pushes the caliper. So it should turn very smoothly. It does feel good and smooth. I think I'm going to clean it up and then put it all back together with new grease. Okay, here it is, completely disassembled. We still need to pull a grease seal out of the end of there, but so you have the end cap which goes on here. You have the I guess the power shaft they call it, and that power shaft sticks out the end here, and the slack adjuster connects to it, and that rotates, forcing that shaft or that spline outward. Here are the remaining parts. That's what gets pushed outward to push on the brake pads, and the remaining parts here. So there it is, completely disassembled. I'm going to go and clean all of this up really well, and then I am going to use a overhaul kit. It's a kit now 15001 from Meritor. You can find them used surplus online, and then I also have this other kit 150016 with the slide pins. So those will be the parts that we will use to reassemble it.